This video is about the brand new plugin Bloom. I think it came out like a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. I'm a little late on this plugin. I'm going to show you how you can eliminate the need for EQ with Bloom, and I'm also going to show you all the different features. They have packed so much into this plugin, so this can be used as a guide if you pick up Bloom. So stick around to learn the ins and outs of this brand new plugin. It's kind of like Soothe 2, but different, and this is the ultimate vocal tone shaping tool. It can be used for much more than vocals. So, okay, first off, I'm just going to place it on this vocal. There's really nothing going on right now. I didn't touch anything, and you can tell it's already working.
I must admit, I didn't know how. Giving good vibes with a whole lot of smiles.
You can hear how boxy it is.
We're shining bright. Our love is the light. So many lessons I learned just to love you right.
So you can hear how it immediately cleaned up some boxiness, some mud, but we can go much further than this and we can dial it into our liking. So even though this is an adaptive EQ down here, like as you watch, it is in real time, on the fly, EQing things differently. It's an ever-changing EQ.
I must admit, I didn't know how. Giving good vibes with a whole lot of smiles. We shining bright.
So that takes a lot of work out. With a static EQ, you would have to sweep around and find exactly where these resonances are, and then you're taking them out the whole mix, which is why we use things like dynamic EQ and compress certain frequencies, which I've shown videos of that, and then we use multiband compression. I don't think this plugin 100% replaces dynamic EQ and multiband compression. When I first downloaded it, I thought, okay, wow, this is going to completely replace it. But after using it some, it does a really good job, but I would still use a little bit of dynamic EQ and multiband compression. But it's definitely a great way to get a good vocal tone. Let's start dialing this in.
I must admit, I didn't know how. Giving good vibes with a whole lot of smiles. We shining bright. Our love is the light. So many lessons I learned just to...
Okay, once we get into this squash area, you can see it says adjust the amount of overall processing. The squash range amount above 7 adds frequency dependent compression. So this is where it really starts compressing the frequencies, kind of like I was just talking about with a dynamic EQ. So this is a dynamic EQ built in, but it's done automatically based on what the source is. So there's a good amount of automatic AI, non-manual stuff going on, which is cool, but there might be some things we want to do on our own. Let's check out the squash here.
I must admit, I didn't know how. Giving good vibes with a whole lot of smiles. We shining bright.
It got a little processed when I went up there, so if you were to do that, I would say probably use your mix knob.
I must admit, I didn't know how. Giving good vibes with a whole lot of smiles. We shining bright. Our love is the light. So many lessons I learned just to love you right.
Okay, I'll give them this. It definitely sounds pretty natural. It takes away that mud and unwanted stuff while keeping it sounding natural. Let's get on to these 4 bands here. So what I love about this, it's kind of like Wave C4, and why I love Wave C4 so much. I would always use the gains on Wave C4, and I've shown this in another video. I would use the gains on each band in the Wave C4 to get the vocal tone shaped the way I wanted it. So this is exactly what this is. Now these things up here, I read in the manual, are not dB, so don't be misled by this. They said it's a reference, so I'm not 100% sure what they mean by that, but it's not by dB, so you want to use your ears here. As you can see, the frequency is changing when you drag this slider this way and that way. So if you do want a certain frequency, I would leave that and then go up here to go up or down with it. So let's start dialing this in.
I must admit, I didn't know how. Giving good vibes with a whole lot of smiles. We shining bright.
That's how to isolate.
So many lessons I learned just to love you right. Open my heart, let all this love in. Nobody else, your soul wins. In the world so busy, noise and distraction. Your love is the only satisfaction. I must admit, I didn't know how. Giving good vibes with a whole lot of smile. We shining bright.
Okay, this attack and release over here, this is just like a compressor, how fast processing is going to kick in, and then the release is how fast is it going to recover from the processing.
I must admit, I didn't know how. Giving good vibes with a whole lot of smile. We shining bright.
Okay, also I learned down here you can isolate just the processing in a certain area. So say you want to not touch this high end up here, not touch this low end, you can just focus in here.
I must admit, I didn't know how. Giving good vibes with a whole lot of smile. We shining bright. Our love is the light. So many lessons I learned just to love you right. Open my heart, let all this love in.
Okay, these set parameters here, squash cow and wet trim, this kind of takes care of the gain staging for you. So you can just click on that and then it automatically sets the gain staging for you.
I must admit, I didn't know how. Giving good vibes with a whole lot of smile. We shining bright. Our love is the light. So many lessons I learned just to love you right.
So you can hear that vocal's really getting in your face and sounds pretty natural as well. So we have an output down here for the overall output, mix, and then, like I said, wet trim and squash cow.
I must admit, I didn't know how. Giving good.
So to go over squash cow, I mean, they tell you right in here, calibrate squash gain staging, compensate high input levels with lower values, and vice versa. So this is going to judge the input level and adjust the gain staging. And then the wet trim is just adjusting the level of processed wet signal. But clicking set automatically sets it for you. Hey guys, I have some free gifts for you in the description. Grab the Melodyne mini course and some other gifts. And also, it can be tiring to go from YouTube video to YouTube video, especially if you're starting out. Although a lot of videos I have on my channel are very helpful, sometimes it's not structured the best. So that's why I made the Vocal Mixing Masterclass. I have 15 different categories, all mixing and mastering related, that will teach you the ins and outs of becoming a pro mixing and mastering engineer. So if you're interested in furthering your education in mixing and mastering, hit the link in the description and learn more. Now back to the video.
I must admit, I didn't know how. Giving good vibes with a whole lot of smile. We shining bright. Our love is the light. So many lessons I learned just to love you right. Open my heart, let all this love in. Nobody else. Your soul wins in a world so busy, full noise and distraction. Your love is the only satisfaction. I must admit, I didn't know how.
Wow.
Giving good vibes with a whole lot of smile. We shining bright. Our love is the light.
Okay, so I'm liking how that sounds. We can dial down the mix a little bit just to make sure we're not over processing here.
I must admit, I didn't know how. Giving good vibes with a whole lot of smile. We shining bright. Our love is the light. So many lessons I learned just to love you right. Open my heart, let all this love in. Your soul wins in a world so busy, full of noise and distraction.
Keep in mind, this is not something you can just use on vocals. It comes with tons of presets you can use on your master bus, mix bus, vocals, guitars, keys, so many things. And then we have this A/B function up here. So say you want to just dial in 2 different types of settings and go back and forth and decide, you can do that.
I must admit, I didn't know how. Giving good vibes with a whole lot of smile. We shining bright. Our love is the light. In a world so busy, full of noise and distraction.
So you can go back and forth.
Love is the only satisfaction.
We have a sidechain up here, so it's kind of like Soothe. You can choose a key input there and then have another instrument or something feed into this. A good example of that would be you can put bloom on some guitars or the beat or something that's getting in the way of the vocal, and then send the vocal to it. Bloom is going to be on the guitars or the instrumental, and it's going to duck out just like any other processor. Definitely some nice flexibility there. And then up here you can listen to the sidechain. Up here you can adjust the size of the plugin. I kind of like it smaller. It was kind of big. And we have these quality settings down here. Change between normal, high quality, low latency modes. High quality and low latency modes increase CPU load.
I must admit, I didn't know how. Giving good vibes with a whole lot of smile. We shining bright.
What makes this plugin stand out is how easy, for one, it is to do. So I would say it's a little easier to do than dynamic EQ and multiband and soothe. But then also to craft the tone here and listen to each band, it kind of has that Waves C4 ability built in to this, which I really like. If you want to learn about soothe or multiband compression, check out some of my other videos. I'll see you guys next time.